Shalom, 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 wonderful people of God, brethren in Christ. Today we'll be looking at the authority behind the number 5. We have done 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we are looking at 5. The authority behind the number 1 is light over darkness. So when you see 1 or 111 reoccurring, it means there is darkness around. You should pray and ask God to send that light to overcome the darkness. When you see the number 2, it means separation, right? Separation, where God has to now judge between you and those who want to destroy you. It also means handing over your battle to the Lord. But when you see the number 3, it means it is time to receive greater anointing, double portion anointing for greater task. It also means it is time to gather together. And lastly, the number 3 means birth and rebirth. Birth and rebirth, right? Then what about the number 4? When you see 444 reoccurring like that, it means it is the appointed time. The authority behind the number 4 is to understand the times, the seasons, the years, the days that we are in. So when you see 444, it means it is the appointed time. Or basically, there's a sign you need to pay close attention to in order to get the meaning. Now let's look at the number 5. I want to say that the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, the Lord multiply you. Amen. The symbol of the number 5 is actually an open hand. There's a reason why God gave you 5 fingers on your hand. You may close your hand or you may open your hand, but the number 5 is the opening of the hand, not the closing of the hand. This is when the spiritual oil God has put in your palms actually lives to be a blessing unto others, to be healing unto others, to be protection unto others, to feed others. Let us go much into details about what it entails, right? Genesis chapter 1. Verse 20 to 23. On day number 5, this is what God chose to do, and there is a reason. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were day 5. As you saw in the previous videos, or even in the previous day numbers, the Lord had what? Separated the waters for the land to resurface again. So the waters are empty. The land, which is the earth or the ground, is also empty. Now it is time to fill up these 2 realms with creatures. So in the verse 22, the principle of the number 5 is, first, you have to be fruitful. You have to multiply. Then you can occupy or fill up the place or the realms God has created or prepared for you. Are you getting the clue? Again, you need to be fruitful. You need to bear fruit. You need to multiply the talent God has given you. Then and only then can you enter into the realm or the kingdom He prepared for you from the genesis of the world. That is the principle or authority behind the number 5. So since being fruitful is very important unto the day of judgment, when the Lord shall come, He's coming for those who bear fruits, then it is very important to use the authority of the number 5 quite a lot. If you want to spread, if you want to multiply, you use the number 5. If you want to fill up, if you want to occupy, you use the number 5. However, before you can do this, before you can be fruitful and then multiply, somebody has to open his arms to release or give you something for you to now go and be fruitful with that thing, or go and multiply with that thing. You have to be blessed with something. Someone has to bless you with something. Then out of that thing, you go and be fruitful with it. And out of that thing, you go and multiply it. So first, God gives. Then if you multiply, right? If you invest and get returns on it, then he will allow you to what? Fill up the realm he has prepared for you. Is it any wonder that in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus, when he saw the multitudes, he started seeing blessings. When you see multitudes, there's blessing. When you see multitude, there's blessing, right? And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was sat, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, what? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are they that mourn. Blessed are they meek. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you. Have you seen that? When he saw the multitude, he went straight to sit on the mountain. Then he started proclaiming blessings upon blessings. This is Matthew chapter 5, the principle of the authority behind the number 5. We humans are very lucky. We don't even know. We can actually turn our own lives around. We don't even know. Imagine if we were in love and in unity, everyone blessing each other by opening their palms and releasing the blessings upon each other. We don't know what we carry. All we know how to do is make war against each other, therefore releasing curses upon each other, destroying our own lives, and then blaming it on God. Meanwhile, God has given us whatever we need to survive, whatever we need to go through this life, whether hard life or tough life or difficult life or challenges. We have everything that it takes. It is in the palms of our hands. Matthew chapter 14, from verse 17 to 21. And they say unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. When he saw the multitudes and how they were what? Very hungry, he asked, what have we got here? Oh, 5 loaves and 2 fishes. What did he do? Among the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, which one did he take? Because he understands the principle of the number 5 and the multitude when he saw them. So verse 18, he said, bring them to me. Verse 19, and he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. Where did the fish go? Where did the fish go? So although he took the loaves and the fish, after releasing the blessing, what did he do? He brake and gave the loaves to his disciples. Then the disciples will also pass it on to the multitude. So Jesus with his hand will be blessing and breaking. Then he breaks, then give to this disciple. This disciple will give to this one. This disciple will give to this one. This disciple will give to that one, like that. So it was a continuous process. He kept blessing and breaking and blessing and breaking. And verse 20, and they did all eat and were filled, and they took up of the fragments that remained 12 more baskets. Can you believe that? He did not just pray on it like once and then automatically it's multiplied. No. The 5 loaves, he kept breaking and breaking and breaking, but he blessed and then break. He blessed and then break. It's like when you break it apart, then it fills up again. Verse 21, and they that had eaten were about the number 5 again, 5,000 men, beside women and children. It means the number 5 is important. So the whole number is more than 5,000. But because they are trying to communicate the principle behind the number 5, they were particular about 5 loaves. They were particular about 5,000 men. Are you frequently seeing the number 5? The authority and the power behind the number 5 is being given unto you to bless, to multiply. Or the time of your blessing and your multiplication is nigh. Let's not forget the principle of the empty realms being occupied. This time, what is being occupied? It is the realm of an empty stomach being occupied by food. Let us take a look at 2 Kings chapter 4. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be slaves. And Elisha said unto her, What shall I do for you? Tell me, what have you in your house? And she said, Your handmaid has not anything in the house, except what? A pot of oil. So there is always some initial thing to be multiplied. Have you seen that? Like there was just 5 loaves to be multiplied. There has to be someone must open his or her palms to give as a blessing. Then you multiply it. You bless that same thing and multiply it. Verse 3. Then he said, Go, borrow vessels abroad of all your neighbors. So go and get vessels from your neighbors. Then he says what? Empty vessels, like the empty realms, like the empty sea, like the empty land. And God created the creatures to go and occupy. Have you seen the principle of the emptiness here, empty realm here? Then he says, borrow not a few. And when you are come in, you shall shut the door upon you and upon your sons, and shall pour out into all those vessels, and you shall set aside that which is what? Food. This is the word of blessings being released by Elisha. So when you obey them, you will get your blessing. Verse 5. So she went from him, shut the door upon her and upon her son, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. Verse 6. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Wow. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil and pay the debt, and live, you and your children and your children of the rest. Right? Go and sell some and then live on some. Or go and sell some of the oil and then use the money to pay the debt, and the remaining money you can spend it with your children. Imagine, as a believer, you have the authority to operate under this number 5. Imagine during these hard times, during these tribulations and trials we are going through now. Just imagine if we believers could do this. We would not be worrying and being scared about what we're gonna eat, about what we're gonna wear, about this and that. We will not be scared. We will reject the mark of the beast blatantly. We will not be scared and be fearing such that we will be bothering God to come and remove us from the earth, because we would be experiencing what we call the power of God to still remain in trial and in difficult and in challenge situations and still come out standing tall. The Lord is asking you today, my brethren, where is the power that God gave you? Where is the greater thing than these you can do or you will do? Where is that power? Where is that blessing spoken unto you? And what have you made with it? Has it all turned into backbiting? Has it all turned into violence? Has it all turned into betrayals? Has it all turned into division and fighting among and destroying each other and tarnishing each other's image? Has it all turned into wishing death upon each other? Has it all turned into unforgiveness? Has it all turned into hatred? Are you sure you will be able to stand before God on his throne Are you sure you are ready to meet him in the air? Nobody can survive if you are in trials, in tribulation, in hard time, in tough times, in challenges, without operating under the number 5. Matthew chapter 25. Let's read from verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit or occupy the kingdom, prepared for you from the foundation of the world. What? Why? What did I do to deserve this? Verse 35. I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. Sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry? When did we see you thirsty? When did we see you a stranger? When did we see you naked? And you know the answer of the Lord. Just as you did unto the least of these my brethren, you did it unto me. So now that there is a fight, there is a conflict, who is going to be feeding who now? Who is going to be giving who water? Who is going to be accepting a stranger in? And who is going to be clothing the naked? And who is going to be visiting the sick in the hospitals? Like I said, the goats are the ones who are always looking for whom to destroy and whom to crush. I said, nobody will pass the test of tribulation without operating under the number 5. Same principle. Let's look at Matthew 25, right? 2:5. The 5 kinds of virgins. 25, right? Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They are going to meet the bridegroom so that they will enter this kingdom with him. Who is going to occupy? Verse 3. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. Remember the oil story of Elisha, the multiplication power. Verse 4. And the wise took oil in their vessels, not one vessel, in their vessels, just as the woman filled lots of vessels with oil until there was no vessel. Like I said, if you don't have the authority behind the number 5, or if you don't know how to operate under it, you are not going to make it into that kingdom. You are not going to occupy it, because you need to first multiply and then you occupy. That is the principle from Genesis that God used in the day 5 of creation. Verse 5. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. You see, usually people will say, like, you are foolish, virgin church, because you are sleeping and all that. But that is not biblical, because both the wise and the foolish, they all slept. They all slept. The sleeping is not about being wise or foolish. About being wise or foolish is about multiplying what God has given you, multiplying the oil you have, multiplying it. That is how you know who is wise and who is foolish, not the sleeping aspect. For they all slumbered and slept. The sleeping has to do with how long, with the forever coming king. Forever. His coming is taking forever. That is how come they all slept. He tarried. He takes such a long time to come. Not because he is slow like a turtle, but because he wants all to be saved, that none should perish. Verse 6. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom comes, go ye out to meet him. Do you see that? There will still be an announcement, because all must sleep by the time he comes. all didn't expect, but still there was an announcement. Verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are what? Gone out. Then verse 9. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But how? You have lots of vessels of oil, and the bridegroom comes. So what do you still need the oil for? What do you still need the oil for? Isn't the kingdom having light? Why do you still need oil going into the kingdom? It is because it is not ordinary oil. Are you getting the clue? You are going to give accountability of what the Lord gave you. It is just like the talents. Because think about it. You don't need oil or light, because Christ is the light thereof. The Father and his Son are both light. And there's no need of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Remember, regarding the kingdom. So why are they still needing oil for light? For what reason? It doesn't make any sense, except that they are going to give accountability that they have multiplied the oil they got. Are you understanding the clue? All right. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Just as the Elisha miracle, like the woman was asked, go and sell the oil. Have you seen that? There is a source to everything. There is a source to everything. And God always gives to man. And there's this passing on and passing on and passing on. So even though the Bible did not state that it is the woman in the Elisha miracle that is selling, but let's imagine that she's the one selling the oil that does not end. Go and buy from them that sell and buy for yourselves, right? Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Those who multiply, they are the ones who occupy. I'm telling you, the Lord's coming is all about who is doing good, who is sharing, who is blessing others. That is what it's all about. But people don't know. Matthew 24, let's read from verse 44. Therefore, be you also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man comes. That is the time he comes. When you don't expect him to come, that is when he comes. So when you see lots of people making contents to earn money, claiming they have seen visions of the Lord's coming, and everyone is talking about it, it means he's not coming. It is when they stop expecting him to come, when, like, because of every day they say he's coming, every year he's coming, every year he's coming, he's not coming, until they get tired of saying it. That is when he actually comes. Verse 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant? It is whom his Lord has made what? Ruler over his household. To do what? To give them meat. To give them meat. The least of his brethren, give them meat in due season. Be a blessing unto others. You have been made a ruler, not to be a wicked and greedy and selfish ruler, but to give them meat, give them blessings, give them help, whatever they need. Because whatever you are doing, don't be angry that you have to do those things to help them, because you are not doing to them, you are doing to the Lord. See your sheep as you are doing it to the Lord. When they are asking for help, don't be angry, because it is the Lord asking you for help. When they ask you, we needed this, can you please help us? Don't be like, oh, it is not for you. It's not for you. It is for the building. It's for the church. It is for this. It is for that. You are denying the Lord, but you don't know. Don't be angry, because it is the Lord asking you, but you don't know. It's the Lord trying to save you on that day of judgment, but you don't know. Don't say they are not supposed to be given to the church members. The church is not a charity. This, that. You are denying your Lord, but you don't know. Verse 46. Blessed is that servant. Blessings, right? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him what? Ruler over all his what? All his riches, all his wealth. Just because you gave. Just because you gave. You'll be made a ruler over all the riches of God. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delays his coming, because actually the tarrying of the Lord is a thing, it's a principle. It takes like forever for him to come. It is a principle. The delaying of his coming is a principle. That is why people are going to sleep and slumber. We are all going to sleep and slumber. That is why here the evil servant is even saying that, because he's delaying his coming, I must stop doing good. I must stop blessing people. I must stop giving to people. I must stop helping people. I must fight each other. That is what they are going to do, because the Lord delays his coming. Can't you see? To occupy, you need the number 5. Exodus 26 verse 3. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. The tabernacle, which shall house the glory of the Lord. Not only 5 curtains, but in the verse 37, 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hoops shall be of gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Numbers 7:36. On the 5th day, Shelumiel the son of Zurishaddai, prince of the children of Simeon, did what? Offer. When are you going to start offering? When are you going to open your arms to release blessings and to help the least of the brethren, and to help each other and to bless each other? When? Look around. Look at today. The love of many has grown cold. Why? Because they are preaching that God is not love. They are preaching against the love of God. Now look at your heart. Look at the state of your heart very well. Are you sure you love each other? Or it is full of conflict and strife among each other, and hatred and envy, and wishing the downfall and destruction of others? Yes, it is the years of war, or the year of wars next year. But don't forget that there is battle against famine coming. Don't forget that there is battle against pestilence for sickness coming. There is battle against nakedness coming. There is the battle against poverty and homelessness coming. How do you fight hunger? By providing food. How do you fight the pestilence? By blessing and encouraging the sick. They being in good spirit is the best cure ever, which can give them quick healing than them being, is better than them being left alone, which will give them quick death. What's the battle against nakedness? By giving them clothing. The other day there was a challenge about who is going to be Lord over who, and who is going to be a servant. Remember when we read the Lord saying that who is the wise servant? It is the one who is what? Who has been made Lord, and then he is given meat in due season. Do you see that? That's the principle of the number 5. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 8-9. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, why are you come out to set your battle in array? Am I not a Philistine, and you servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. So if you are able to defeat Goliath, then you are going to be what? The Lord over them, and they will be the servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then You shall be our servants and servants. So Goliath and his people will be lord over the Israelites, and the Israelites will be their servants. What did David do? In the verse 40, David went and then he took his staff in his hand and chose what? 5 smooth stones. 5 smooth stones. Do you see that? The authority behind the number 5. Out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag. So he's the shepherd. Goliath and his people are going to be the sheep. He's going to be the Lord over them, which he had even in a scrip, and his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. We all know what happened. But before that, in the verse 2, it says, Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines. And the Philistines also stood on a mountain on the other side. Have you seen what's happening? So Israel is on one side, the Philistines are on the other side. So who is going to occupy whose space? Then when you go to the verse 44, look at what Goliath said to David. Come to me, and I will give your flesh unto the fowls of the air. Isn't that what God created the fowls to go and occupy the space of the air? What about the land? And to the beasts of the field. Have you seen that? The creatures God made to occupy the realms or the spaces. Goliath is threatening David. He's going to give him as food unto them. Meaning Goliath is saying, you are not going to what? To occupy. But look at David's response. Look at the authority of the number 5 in the verse 45. Then said David to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, right? The Lord of the multitude. Do you see that? The God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day will the Lord deliver you into mine hand, and I rather will smite you, Goliath, and take your head from you, and I will give your dead body of the host of the Philistines this day unto where? Unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Have you seen what he's saying? He's going to give the carcass of Goliath unto the occupiers of the air and of the land. Have you seen that? Now I want us to see how David and the Israelites occupied the spaces of the Philistines. So look at verse 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. So David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they ran away. And the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until they came to where the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sharaim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. Have you seen how now they have occupied the spaces of the Philistines? This is the authority behind the number 5.